You're listening to the Stoic Solutions Podcast, practical wisdom for everyday life. I'm Justin Vacula, and this is episode 53, 5 Stoic Mantras you can use. Visit my website at stoicsolutionspodcast.com, or you can connect with me on social media, find past episodes on many podcast platforms, and join my Discord chat server for interactive discussion. Support my work by becoming a donor through Patreon or PayPal to access special rewards, including the ability to have upcoming guests answer your questions, custom podcast episodes, and personalized one-on-one discussions. Share, comment, like, subscribe, and leave reviews to help support my efforts. Email me with your thoughts, justinvacula@gmail.com. Podcast listener Trex in my Stoic Solutions Podcast Discord server recently wrote, "I'd like to form a set of daily affirmations to try and reinforce a consistency of mind. I struggle day to day, week to week, month to month to be consistent and to make any progress at all. I wonder how many other people have this problem." Thanks, Trex, for your comment. I'll explore some daily affirmations in this episode. Stoicism offers a strong framework with which to structure life. In cultivating a strong mindset, following study and application of philosophy, we can draw upon central Stoic themes and brave trying circumstances. We can understand broad concepts and be undaunted in a calm situation, perhaps resting at home. But in the moment when concerns arise or intense negative emotions come forth, it can be helpful to recall and repeat simple phrases to ourselves as reminders of Stoic themes. After a trying time, we can reflect upon a difficult experience, consider how to strengthen our mindset, get feedback from others, and revisit Stoic wisdom. But in the moment, simple phrases can boost us. Let's explore some of these simple Stoic mantras. One of my favorite one-liners in Seneca's letters is a phrase, "All is well with a commander." In his letter titled On Despising Death, Seneca writes about a commander of a ship who was, by chance, overtaken by an enemy force following an unfavorable storm. Rather than being tortured or captured as a slave, the ship's commander opted to inflict a deadly wound upon himself, and, when asked by an enemy where the ship's commander was, he replied, "All is well with the commander." Surely this tactic confused the enemy, who did not recognize him as the ship's commander. Even in such a pressing moment, Seneca mentioned, he was able to have the courage to end his life and say that all was well, that he was able to face death, the situation thought to be most terrible. He was able to die honorably and have his reasoning faculty, his choice, intact in his final hours in deciding that life was no longer worth living. See episode 27, Death with Dignity, for more discussion about ending one's life before overtaken by natural causes or external factors. Surely being overwhelmed by an enemy isn't a preferred state, but, as the Stoics remind us, life is not a dance. Adversity will come to us in one form or another. We can work to behave with courage in all situations and to the best of our ability. The mantra, "All is well with the commander," can help us in difficult times. Another helpful saying for me is, "Adapt to the present," which is inspired by Seneca's letter titled On the Philosopher's Mean. Seneca talks about expectations and fears that we might have concerning the future. Rather than overly dwelling on all possible states of affairs which may come about, especially negative outcomes, or engaging in doomsday thinking, we can instead work to focus on the present moment and what is in our control, rather than, as Seneca writes, sending our thoughts a long way ahead. This adapting to the present also concerns making the best of current circumstances, playing the hand we are dealt, imitating those who play at dice, as Epictetus says in his analogy comparing life to a game of dice, making the best of, applying skill to chance outcomes we lack control over, rather than complaining, not acting, engaging in unproductive behaviors, or focusing on unproductive thoughts. Life is filled with adjustments and major changes. See episode 17, Acceptance, for discussion on coming to terms with changes in life. We adapt, we accept, to better strive toward success, and remember this mantra, adapt to the present. Be your own spectator, seek your own applause, is a phrase I've mentioned in previous episodes. Particularly episode 40, dealing with the topic of popular approval. reasons we can have for not being overly concerned about what others think of us. Rather than being downtrodden when others may think poorly of us, especially when considering strangers, we can place our self-worth in our own hands. We can jump to irrational negative conclusions and blame ourselves when social situations do not result in outcomes we hope for. Perhaps someone canceled plans you established or did not appear for an event you extended an invite to. Shall we view this possible rejection as a statement about ourselves not being good enough? Or can we instead take a different view that we are good enough, even if others happen to not share their time with us? We can look at progress we have made, continue working toward worthwhile goals, and be content in our own company. If self-esteem is lacking, we can work to be a better version of ourselves and accomplish regardless of what others might think. After all, even the most famous, wealthiest cultural figures are disliked. Their marriages end in divorce, and criticism remains a dime a dozen. We can place some value on what others might say about us, be humble, but should work to, as Seneca says, seek our own applause, and not wholly put our contentment in the hands of others. "Let us see who wins" is a phrase from Seneca's letter titled On Groundless Fears, I've used before even knowing about Stoic philosophy. I laughed when reading Seneca's passage, in which he responds to a thought of the worst outcomes happening. Should misfortune befall us, we can use this as an opportunity to test our resolve and overcome a challenge. We won't wish for tremendous adversity. Instead, we can welcome some challenge in life, lest we cease to progress, seek to learn. Chance dispreferred events will happen, and we can respond courageously, seizing the moment. See episode 11, Overcoming Adversity and Welcoming Challenge, for more discussion on this topic. This bring-it-on attitude is common throughout Stoic texts. With a strong mental framework and life philosophy that Stoicism offers, we can be prepared to overcome challenges and, even if initially faltering, work to improve and come back stronger than ever. Maybe, too, Seneca suggests, some misfortune, a dispreferred occurrence, might turn out for the better. He writes, "Perhaps it happens for my best interests." In thinking of life as a battle, this common comparison in Stoic texts, we can consider strategy and work to be prepared for challenges. It won't always be easy, but we can face situations with bravery and seek to be the victor, especially over our inner struggles, to conquer what might be the strongest enemy of our own creation. "Let us see who wins" is yet another helpful Stoic mantra. Finally, conquer with a smile is personally helpful for me. Years ago, I completed a character strengths test from the VIA Institute on Character, which judged humor to be my most prevalent character strength. I make light of situations with wordplay, laugh at the absurd, generally poke fun, and make simple jokes. I think it's a good coping tool and a good life tool. As does Seneca, who, in his letter on the healing power of the mind, details a situation where a person bravely endured pain by displaying a smile and mocking those who sought to inflict harm. This smile shows a level of indifference, that we aren't giving in, that we aren't allowing others to compromise our sound mind, that we're not going to be made angry by others' comments. We can instead maintain contentment, saying to ourselves, "This is nothing to me. I'm not going to be brought down by others." Even if subjected to insults, we can again reflect on not placing our happiness in the hands of others and recognize that our opinion of ourselves is most important. We can laugh at what we consider ridiculous and conquer pain with a smile, add a bit of laughter to our days to get through some more difficult times. Conquer with a smile. That's a valuable Stoic mantra. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more content. Visit my website at stoicsolutionspodcast.com, where you can connect with me on social media, find past episodes on many podcast platforms, and join my Discord chat server for interactive discussion. Support my work by becoming a donor through Patreon or PayPal to access special rewards, including the ability to have upcoming guests answer your questions, custom podcast episodes, and personalized one-on-one discussions. Share, comment, like, subscribe, and leave reviews to help support my efforts. Email me with your thoughts, justinvacula@gmail.com. Podcast music, used with permission, is brought to you by Phil Giordano's symphonic metal group, Fairyland. The song titled Master of the Waves is from their album Score to a New Beginning. Find more information in the show notes. Have a great day.